Okay, hello. Can I speak from here? Yeah, okay. Yes, thank you for, first of all, inviting me here. And my topic is, actually I have two topics. First I was supposed to talk about only the renewable energy in urban areas, but then Maureen here asked me also to talk a little about innovations in our university. Okay. I come from Aalto University from Finland, Helsinki region, and there actually from the Department of Applied Physics and from the research group that is led by Professor Peter Lund. What we do there, we do research about future energy systems and distributed generation on the other hand side, but then we also have a research on solar cells and fuel cells, so that kind of experimental studies as well. Okay, but my topic is really the energy system and how to integrate as much as renewable power as possible to our existing systems. And the challenge is depicted here that what we are facing nowadays. So we will shift from the centralized production into a more distributed one. Traditionally, we have had one large power plant in a city, or two maybe. But in the future, the generation will be more and more distributed on for example, single apartment houses. Then we will move from fossil energy to renewable one, and I think what is the most important point at this slide is the last one. We will move from controllable production into more variable one. We can say that how our coal power plant works, but we cannot say when the wind is blowing or the sun is shining. Then a few words what we have been doing in cooperation with University of Biobío and also University of Concepción. We have a project that so far has mainly concentrated on the energy demand I mean, where in the city and at what time the energy is consumed. Yeah, so it depends strongly on the location in the city. During the working hours, the consumption is mainly located on those areas that we have offices and that kind of business buildings. But then after work, when people go to their homes, the consumption also shifts from the downtown city center to the residential areas. And we have been studying this kind of maps of the cities of Concepción and Helsinki, so where the energy is consumed and at which times. And now the job is to find out the solar potential of the city. So when we know where and when the energy is consumed, and if we know how we get or let's say when and where we get the solar production, we can combine those two data sets and try to find with kind of different schemes and optimizations, we can try to find the answer to the question that how much solar power can we integrate into the system. Okay, so role of an energy system is, to put it simply, that always and everywhere the demand has to match with the supply. And how the energy system does this, it has of course, the grids do mainly the work that it's everywhere. But then then the always question is probably the most challenging, and for that one there are lots of ways. So I call them different flexibility measures. The generation, flexible demand, batteries of course can store energy. Then there is hydrogen, or electricity to thermal. The last one, electricity to thermal, means that if we have too much, for example, solar production, more production than the actual demand is, then we can convert the extra electricity into heat and use that energy as heat, or thermal energy. Yeah, I have an example of what we've done in Helsinki with wind power. So this is no wind power, not solar, but we are planning to do similar kind of simulation with solar power and in Concepcion also. Helsinki is a city that we have large CHP power plants there. It means that the same power plant produces both electricity and heat. And then Helsinki has a citywide district heating network. So there are hot water pipes going everywhere in the city, and that's kind of offering the heat to all buildings there. So we had a case that, okay, if we put a large offshore wind farm on the sea area in front of Helsinki, so let's say really large, over perhaps 1 gigawatt, and let's see that, okay, we have the current energy system in Helsinki. We kind of simulated that how large the wind farm could be with the current energy system, because there are limitations coming from the grid and from the demand and that kind of. Okay, we have the offshore wind farm. Then we made a simulation where we added heat pumps to our system and used them to do the electricity to thermal conversion. So just as I said, to convert the extra electricity to heat. And this option proved to be quite good, because we found out that this heat pump option increased the available wind power, or the capacity that we could install wind power, almost 2 to 3 times more. So we could install 2 to 3 times larger wind farm with the heat pumps. And now we are going to see what happens with the solar power and with the case here in Concepcion also. Okay. I think I will then move to the other topic I have to talk about, the innovations in Aalto University. So Aalto University, which is by the way named after the Finnish architect Alvar Aalto that also Michael was talking here shortly. Our university was founded only 4 years ago by combining 3 older universities: Helsinki University of Technology, then School of Economics, and University of Art and Design. And the main idea behind the university was that the Finnish government wanted to create a university that can produce new innovations and stuff like that. So they thought that, okay, if we combine the science and art and then also the business people together, so they could then produce more innovations and yeah. So where the science and art meet technology and business is the slogan here. Okay, so what is an innovation? Innovation is something original, new, and important in whatever field that breaks into a market or society. And now the important thing is the last one, that it has to break into a market. Sorry. So if you have a nice invention, but nobody's willing to pay anything from that, then it's not an innovation. That's just a nice thing to have, but it's not an innovation, really. And yeah, as I said, new innovations were the main reason for creation of Aalto University. But then what does Aalto do to enable new innovations, like those two quite famous Finnish innovations, the Linux operating system and the Angry Birds mobile game? I have gathered here some, how to call, not institutions, but units or programs from our university that are there to help the new innovations. So there is a house called Open Innovation House on our campus, which is quite new. I think it was last year then it was built ready. It is a building that is meant purely to produce innovations and to make it possible to people go there and yeah, when you for open innovation and collaborative creation, well, nice words, but okay. So there are a lot of public spaces and activities, and then there are lots of companies involved, including the Nokia Research Center, which has a large unit in this house. And then there are other smaller ones, let's say Design Factory, Urban Mill, Energy Garage. These are all that kind of open spaces where you can just go. If you have a nice idea, for example, about energy or urban structure or some urban development, you can go to, for example, the Energy Garage, and there are some, you can do some experiments there. There are all kind of equipment and yeah. So with you have an idea, you can go there and try something new, or then you can go just go there and hang out and try some nice stuff and like that. So there are meant to be places where students, teachers, researchers, and also industrial partners are under the same roof without any hierarchies or stuff like that. Just be there and hang out and try to, yeah, you can do nice and fancy stuff if you want to do. So these are like the places where the innovations could really born. Yeah, okay, then Aalto Center for Entrepreneurship is a unit of our university that is there just to commercialize the research that originates in Aalto University. They offer help for researchers and students to develop their ideas further. There are some logos of companies that are the success stories of this ACE. Then after you have your startup company, you have really some business going on, then we have a so-called startup sauna. In Finland, we like to have a lot of saunas, so this is quite a different one. But in any case, the startup sauna is there to help the early stage startups to accelerate their business and let them help to grow. And then more Aalto Ventures program is a program that offers courses and teamwork learning about entrepreneurship. So I'm not sure if there is a major, but at least you can do a minor in this Aalto Ventures program in our university. Yeah, first skills, tools, and global networks to create new businesses, but yeah, it is like the courses and teaching are there. And then also Aalto Entrepreneurship Society, Aalto ES, is then the society that is run by students. It organizes startup events and offers that kind of how to say it. But the help from student to student and from the startup to startup, just to, you need some support to get the business running. Actually, this startup sauna is one earlier project that has originated from this Aalto ES. But okay. So what I've been trying to say here is that the innovations in our university is quite an important topic. The university government really wants to put funding and to put funding into creating innovations. And there is, I think, quite nicely the whole chain covered here. So from the creating the innovations, then how to get the business running, and then also support for the early stage startups and companies. Okay, that's it. Thank you.